everybody, welcome back. Wanted to chat with you about the stupid things mortgage lenders ask for and why. So I know that when you're getting qualified for a house, you're trying to get pre-approved, they're asking you a ton of questions. They're asking you for a list of paperwork, and it just seems worse than trying to get a new job. So I'm going to make this easy for you. I'm going to break it down on why we need certain things and why the lender's asking for certain things, so you're prepped for it when you're ready to go get pre-approved. So let's get into it. Different loan programs are going to have a few different requirements depending on what you do for work, whether you're self-employed, if you're W-2, 1099, whatever it may be. So let's get into how do we start an application and why are we asking for certain things, and I'll try to explain it and walk you through it as best as I can. So first step, you want to find your lender, make sure you're checking reviews, make sure you're finding a mortgage broker preferably, because they're going to have lower rates, they're going to have lower closing costs, they're going to get you the best deal, they're going to have more options, they're not going to have overlays like these banks do. So they're going to be able to qualify you for a higher purchase price than most banks and lenders. So keep that in mind. So what I usually like to do is pull your credit, and then initially I like to do a soft check credit report. So there's no hit to the rate, to your credit score, and it doesn't show a hit on the credit report because we did a soft pull, so nobody sees it. And then what I like to do is analyze it, call you back, go through it with you, see what we can do to get that credit score up a little bit, if we can get you a better rate or get you a better deal, depending on where your situation's at. If you're, upper 700s or mid 700s or even over 700, you probably don't need to mess with the credit score too much. So after we've got that application filled out, what we're going to need to see from you is usually we're going to need to see 2 years of W-2s, 30 days of paycheck stubs, 2 months of bank statements. And keep in mind on those bank statements, if you have any large deposits, we're going to need paper trail documents, because the banks and the guidelines require that you paper trail any large deposits over certain amounts. So usually if you make $6,000 a month and you have deposits that are anywhere over $3,000 a month, because that's 50% of your income, usually anything below that 3,000 or lower mark, we don't have to paper trail those because it's 50% lower than what your monthly income is. So we usually don't have to paper trail those documents. But there's a chance you may get an anal underwriter. She may ask for those documents. And the reason she asks them for those documents, it may be because guidelines require it, DU requires it, LP requires it, Fannie and Freddie want to see it. They're not just trying to be a pain in the butt. They're basically just filling slots in that mortgage application. So if that file ever gets audited, they've got all the answers to the questions in there. That is why they ask for most of these documents. It's not to drive you crazy. It's not to stress you out. It's just to make sure that they have all these documents. So the other thing is that they're going to ask for is they're going to need homeowners insurance information. If you own other properties, they're going to want to see mortgage statements. If they have an HOA statement for that property that's separate from the mortgage statement, they're going to ask for that as well. And I know this starts getting to be a lot of documentation, but that's just how it is. So if you have rental properties, they're going to want to see lease agreements. They're going to want to see LLC tax returns if the property's in an LLC. If you have a company return, they're going to want to see the company return, personal returns. All of this stuff is just part of the loan package. So that's what I'm here for, is I'm here to walk you through it, make it as stress-free as I can for you. I usually will look at all this stuff up front, pre-qual you, and then explain everything to you and kind of tell you what to expect next. And I usually try to ask for this stuff up front, so when we get into the transaction, we submit this after you've made an offer on a house, you're not getting hit with all this extra stuff because we've already provided it, or I've already asked for it up front. So just wanted to share that with you today. If you have any questions, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Feel free to reach out to us if you need to get pre-approved. My number is 801-604-4949, UtahLowRate.com. Thanks, we'll see you on the next one.